Hi, this is Olajide from CTF Security and welcome to another video on Hacker101 CTF. In this video, we're going to be solving the TempImage web challenge and we have total number of 2 flags we are expected to retrieve from this machine. So without wasting much time, I'm just going to click on start and this is expected to spawn up our machine and this is going to take a few seconds to load. So while we wait, let's go into our terminal to set up our environment. So what I'm going to do right now is to make a directory called temp image, and I can cd into temp image, and let's move back to our machine, and this is still coming up. Okay, so we have our target machine. So I'm going to zoom up. Now, I'm going to be using the Chrome web browser for this challenge because I have my Bob suite connected to the Chrome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to retrieve my URL right here and take it to the Chrome, and I'm going to load it right here. All right, great. So we have our application. And this is a very simple application with just one hyperlink here, which says upload image. So the very first thing I want to do is to first of all check, do we have anything on the page source? And you can see that what we just have is just the HTML document and some paragraph with an anchor tag pointing to the upload.php. Since there's no information here, I'm going to just remove the view source and we can reload our page. So let's go into the upload image. And just so we're on the same page, I have my Bob suite listening right here on port 8080, and it is trying to retrieve all the information we're interacting with on the browser. So what I'm going to do is to right click and add this to scope. And after doing that, I need to go to the proxy, then to the HTTP history, then we can filter to show only in scope item. Now we just have few items in our HTTP history. You can see that we have get request to favicon.ico, we have get request to the root, and we have get request to the upload.php, which is this page right here. Now this happens to be an upload functionality. If you click on file upload, let's just see what we can upload to this. So I'm going to go to my picture and we're going to attempt to upload this school.jpg, and I'm going to click on upload. Okay, so this is taking a while. So we got an error, only PNG file format supported in trial. So this is an indication that we have file restriction on this page, and the only allowed file format is PNG. Now, what I should begin to look at is how can we bypass this file restriction in order to gain access to our flag. What I'm going to do is go to the Bob suite, and from there, we can see the new request that was sent. And this happens to be on a different endpoint, which is do upload.php. Now, if I scroll down here, you can see the post request that was sent because we're trying to upload a document, and you can see it with some host header, cookie header, content length, and other headers that we have in this request. And this happens to be the body of the JPEG file, which I tried to upload earlier. We also have, scroll down, these are all the headers. I beg your pardon, these are all the JPEG file content. Okay, good. So I'm going to take this and send it to the repeater. So from the repeater, the first thing I want to do is, since I'm dealing with a file upload here, is to try to check what is the content type, if I can actually manipulate the content type to suit what we need. But it happens that we're dealing with JPEG right now, which is being restricted by the application, and the application supports PNG, which happens to be the image slash PNG or image slash JPEG file format. Now, for us to be able to bypass this, I'll try to upload a PNG file and try to compare the differences. Now, let's go in and perform another file upload. So this time around, we're going to upload a legitimate file, which is, let's go with images.png. You just need a very light image. And I'm going to upload it. Good. So let's go back to Bob Suite, go to proxy, and we can check the new request. Now you can see that the new request has, I think I saw it now. So the new request, which we sent, has a content type of multi-part slash form data. And the previous one, which is on the repeater here, has content type image JPEG. So what if we're able to modify this to see if the application is going to treat our JPEG file as PNG? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the new file, and let's copy this content type, and let's head over, let's just copy the entire content type, and can we put it in the content type here? Okay, good. So can we send us? Still being rejected, huh? So we still have the school.jpg, and if you scroll down here, you can see that we have another file name here, which is school.jpg. Now, what this application is using is Content-Disposition. So it's using Content-Disposition header to specify two file name inside different Content-Disposition HTTP header. Now, if you're not familiar with this, we can do a very simple search about content disposition header. Let's see what this is talking about. MDN web docs. Let's see, probably we can get more information about what this header is doing. Let's zoom in a bit. Okay, so it says the HTTP content disposition header indicates whether content should be displayed in line in the browser as a web page or part of a web page, or downloaded as an attachment locally. Okay. In a multi-part body, the header must be used on each subpart to provide information about its corresponding field. The subpart is the delimiter by the boundary defined in the content type header. When used on the body itself, content disposition has no effect. Okay, let's see what else do we have. So we can either use this content disposition header to specify either inline or as an attachment, but in our case it looks like this is what was used. So we do not really have an attachment, but we have a file name attached to the header. So let's go back and see what that is. So we have our content disposition, we have our form data, then we have name, and then we have file name. So more of like this is passing an attribute inside this content disposition. Okay, do we have any other information? Directive. Okay, name was used on our web application. file name was also used. So the file name says, the file name is followed by a string containing the original name of the file transmitted. Okay, this parameter provides mostly indicative information. It prefers ASCII character if possible. Any part information should be stripped, such as by replacing slash with the dash. When writing to disk, it should not overwrite an existing file. Okay. Avoid creating special file with security implications, such as creating a file on the command search part. I'll take that again. Avoid creating special files with security implication, such as creating a file on the command search part. Okay, so we have information. Okay, I think we have enough information here. So I'm going to go back. Oh, okay. So this is the image, the PNG image file that was uploaded earlier. And we see that whenever we upload an image file, it gets uploaded inside the files directory. And we have this long string that get appended to it. Then we have underscore, the name of the image which we uploaded. So I'm just going to take this. Let's fire up Sublime so that we can just paste the data inside. So we have a structure. We have the slash files, we have the random string, and we have images.png. Now, first of all, I want to see if this is an encryption or encoding. So I can actually go to CyberChef and load this. And at the same time, let's check out Prague Station. Okay, so I'm going to paste this. So we're going to solve the captcha and click on crack hash. Okay. So what I'm seeing here is this particular hash is an MD5 hashing algorithm, and it looks like what was hashed is the file name. Okay, which makes sense. Let's go back. So meaning that if I take this and I go to CyberChef, paste this, and I hash this with MD5. Okay, so it gives me back exactly what we have here, which makes sense. So if you go back to the application, it means that we have the file, we have the MD5 hash of the file, which is in string, and then we have the underscore actual file name. Okay, so let's go back to Bob Suite and see what we can do with this request. Now, what I can do is to try to see, can we append PNG to the back of the file? Let's do the same thing for the content disposition at the bottom. And I'm going to try to send. Okay, so we got an error. Only PNG format supported in trial. So what I'm going to try to do is, since we're dealing with a PHP file, let's try to see what framework we're dealing with. The web server is OpenResty engines. Okay, we're dealing with PHP 5.5.9 programming language. So what we can do is to try to see if this request or this application is vulnerable to path transversal. So what I can do is, can I try to send the same file, but instead send it using path transversal? Now, if you take a look at what we have here, we have, this is where the file is going to be uploaded, but instead, we don't want to upload it inside this file. We want to go one step backward and two step backward. So to go two step backward, we're going to be having something like /// then name of file. So let's go back here. So we're going to be having // The first one is going to go outside the file directory, and the second one is going to go to the root directory. Can we do the same thing for this one? // and we're going to leave the content type out, multi-part form, and I'm going to send this. And voila, we have our first flag. So apparently we have still not bypassed the PNG file format restriction, but we're able to gain our first flag by performing path transversal on the file name parameter of the content disposition header. So let's grab our first flag. I'm going to paste it here, and let's verify that this flag is actually the real flag. Can I check ctf.hacker101/ctf? Let's submit our first flag. Okay, great. So we found our first flag using path transversal. Let's go ahead to see if we can find the second flag. Now, still on the request, I'm going to try to upload something different other than the PNG file we are trying to upload. So first of all, let's pick a very legitimate PNG file. I'm going to go to the application and we're going to try to upload. Let's go to pictures once again, and let's go to images because it's very light. We have about 3.2 kilobytes. And you can see it has PNG, so this is expected to upload successfully. So this is still going to upload, and this time around I think we have something different because we already have a file called image.png on the file system, so we might not be able to crack this. So let's see, this might mean something different, but we're going to try anyway. Okay, so empty. So empty was hashed in MD5, and we actually got this, which is interesting. So we're going to go to Bob Suite to capture the new request we just sent, which is this one. And we're going to send this to repeater once again here. And this time around, I'm going to modify, do I have, okay, this is actually empty. So since it's empty, I'm going to use a file name. Let's call it payload.php. So that is what I'm going to call it, and not forgetting our path transversal. so that we can upload it to the root of the application, just like we did in the previous flag. Okay, so we have slash dot dot slash dot dot slash payload, and we need to add our payload to it. So I'll just append my payload here, which is going to be a PHP script. We're going to use system to execute the command ls. We're going to close, we're going to terminate our PHP line, and then we're going to close our PHP tag. So I think that is correct. So I'm going to duplicate this in case of if there's any failure. So we're going to resend to repeater so that we have two. So next thing is, do we need any other thing? I'm going to leave other information just the way they are, and I'm going to send. Okay, so we have a 302 found, and we are being redirected to this particular URL. Okay, let's follow redirection to see what we have. So we have the PNG file, which we can render, and then we have our code, which we just ran. So let's try to render this. Okay, so meaning that our code did not really execute because we expected to list out the current working directory where the payload is actually found. So we're going to do this again. Let's go back, and this time around we're going to use a different name. Let's upload something a bit different. This is too much. Do I have any light PNG file? Okay, I think I have this one. This one is 11 kilobytes. So I'm going to upload this one. The name is abu.png. Okay, so it has uploaded here, and we have the same format just like the way we have it in the image.png. So let's go to Bob Suite, and we're going to forward this to repeater. Scroll all the way down. Okay, good. So we have the abu.png. For the second one, we also have abu.png. So what I'm going to do is perform our path transversal slash dot dot slash dot dot slash here, and I'm going to change this to PHP. We want to execute PHP, and then I want to add my PHP script here. I think I have a script from the other. Okay, so this is where it is. Copy. Let's head over here. I'm going to paste it here. Okay. Everything looks correct. Okay. Let's duplicate this. Send to repeater. Then I'm going to send. Okay, so we have our flag, which is the previous one we have. Let's just confirm that. Yeah, the previous one. And let's follow redirection. Okay. Seems we have a lot. Okay. So interestingly, you can see at the bottom of the page that we have list of file. We have Docker file. We have do upload.php. We have files. We have index.php, php.ini, setup.sh, and we have the upload.php. Now, where could our flag be? Our flag could probably be in the, okay, let's try to see what we have on the index.php because it looks like we do not have access to the index.php because the default homepage of the application happens to be the, okay, we do have the index.php. Okay, let's try to say index.php. Still takes us to this page. So we're going to try to retrieve the code for this particular index.php. So let's go back into the duplicate. Is this the one I want? Okay, yeah, this one. Before we modify it, I would like to duplicate it as well. And let's scroll all the way down. All we need to do is to modify our payload here to cat index.php. I'm going to send this. We have a 302 redirect as usual, and I'm going to follow redirection, and I'm going to scroll all the way down. So it looks like we have our flag. So just to see this properly, I can show response in browser and then head over to my browser and load this page right here. So let's scroll all the way down. Do we have a flag? Okay, probably not visible here. I think I saw something like flag. Okay, yeah, there we go. So this is the flag. So I'm going to grab the entire flag. So I think it's from here to this point here. If you want, you can also grab it from your Bob suite, which is this one here. So let's verify we have the correct flag. Okay, congratulations, we found the flag. So let's go to home to confirm we have the both flag. Okay, so we have the temp image 2/2. So we could also, aside from solving the two flag challenge, we could also try to dig further to access other files that are present on the application. For example, in our previous exploitation, we found files. You can possibly list all the files. We also found setup, and we found the upload.php. So let's go with the do upload.php. I can just modify my new script, just duplicate this. And let's go to the sixth one and scroll all the way down and try to cut, what's the name again? I'm going to send this, follow redirection. Let's scroll all the way down. Okay, so this is what we have inside. This is what we have inside. I think it starts from somewhere here. Okay, so just to get a better view, you can render here. Of course, we're not going to get access here. Show. So I think it starts from here, if I'm correct. So this is the do upload PHP script, which says is equals to get image source, the file is going to retrieve the file and the temp name parameter, and if is equals to false and is not equals to 3, echo error, only page file format. So what we can do is actually try to analyze this logic. Let's try to see, can I take this to ChatGPT to analyze this logic? Let's just do away with the flag. We don't care about that anymore. So help analyze this code. Okay. So what it says here is, let's scroll up a bit. It says we have file type verification, and it says this particular section of the code is used to extract detail about the uploaded file. The is will be false if the file is not valid image. The is index of 2 indicates the image type, where 3 correspond to PNG. So this is where our restriction is coming in right here. So however, issues, this check is bypassed if an attacker uploads a malicious file disguised as PNG, which is exactly how we bypass this file restriction earlier. So the second part is talking about file storage, and it says the file is stored in the file / directory. If you remember, we have our file always being saved to the files directory, and it says an MD5 hash of the file name, which doesn't add real security. So what happened is the file calculates the MD5 hash of the file name and use it to save the name. So I can actually predict a full file path if I know the name of the file I'm uploading. So all I have to do is get the MD5 hash of that particular file name and use it to access it through the browser. So the original file name from the user, okay, actually said that. Issues that we have with this kind of implementation is directory transversal vulnerability, which is another thing which gave us access. There's no sanitization of the post request file name. If you remember, we actually did, though we were working blindly initially, but we actually performed a file transversal. Scroll all the way down. We actually perform a file transversal here in order for us to be able to access the first flag here, and even to be able to upload file to the root directory instead of inside the files directory. So that is what that is saying, because there's no really any validation in place for the file name. Predictable file name. Using the original file name can reveal details about the server. Remember, the application is just calculating the hash of the file name, and it stores the name of the file, the full path, to be the combination of the MD5 hash value of the file name underscore the file name. The third part here is moving uploaded files. So what actually happened here is the move uploaded file securely moves the uploaded file to the desired directory. On success, the user is redirected to the uploaded file directory, which is exactly how the application works. And we have some issues with this. If the uploaded file contains malicious content, redirecting the user to the file could execute the client-side attack, which is exactly how our payload was executed. We also have the fourth part, which is directory transversal check. A check exists to dictate // in the file name. However, the check occurs after the file has been moved. At this point, an attacker could already have exploited the directory. So remember, we exploited our path transversal not when the application is moving our uploaded file to a different directory. So those are the key security issues that we have, and we have about 4 of them. We have XSS that we can try, but I'm just going to ignore that because that is outside the scope of this video. So guys, that will be all for today. If you've learned 1 or 2 things from this video, kindly like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you in the next video.